Hello there. This is an astrological forecast for Capricorn for 2012. And this also applies if you have a Capricorn ascendant. Well, it's 2012. It's that year that's been much talked about, and I'm not surprised because astrologically there's a huge amount of changes happening in the heavens. 3 big planets changing sign. Saturn, your ruler, Jupiter, Neptune, Venus, the planet of love and money, goes retrograde. Mars, the planet of your energy and your passion and your drive, also goes retrograde during this year. So much happening, and let me start out first with Mars, because that's the one that's going to first happen, is on the 24th of January. Mars going retrograde until April 14th in your 9th house. So what happens very often, the 9th house is all about travel, foreign relationships, study, higher study, spiritual study. The energies, what happens in that house, they all slow down during a Mars retrograde so that you can reevaluate what you've been doing in your life in that area. So maybe you're studying, maybe you'd like to study, maybe you'd like to go overseas. What have you been putting your energies into? And have you been achieving what you want? Because Capricorns, you need to achieve. You need to feel as though you're making progress. And you also do need a plan. So during this retrograde, make a plan, research, and really think about where you're putting energy in that's just not paying off, and where you need to make changes. You might need to change your career. You might need to change the direction. You might need to decide on a new course of study during this time. So great time to plot and plan a course of action during the retrograde. When it goes direct after April the 14th, that's the time to actually do something and take action. We've got Neptune changing sign on the 4th of February, moving out of your 2nd house, and it's moving into your 3rd house on the 4th of February. Now it's there until 2025, so it's a long transit, but you are going to have to be very careful about how you communicate. There could be misunderstandings in communications. You're going to have to be extra careful with any kind of negotiations, contracts, agreements. It's a wonderful time, however, for studying metaphysics. Be great for astrology, numerology, Reiki, anything involving karma and reincarnation, and also for developing your psychic side. And you'll get a lot of subtle insights during this time. So developing that side of the brain, rather so much than the left side, more the right side, the very creative, intuitive side, and getting in touch with the energies around you. This will be a very powerful transit for you. It's just when it comes to very practical things of communications and contracts and all that, you're going to have to just be extra careful and possibly get 2nd or even 3rd opinions if you're going into very serious contracts for big money or important projects. We've got Venus, the planet of love and money, ruling love and money. It's retrograde between May the 15th and June the 27th. It's in your 6th house of work, Capricorns. So very possibly somebody from the past that you used to work with might come back into your life. If you've had problems in work, or there's been an issue in a relationship in work, it could get well smoothed over and really much happier now in a particular relationship in the workplace. If you meet somebody in the workplace during this retrograde, because you could do, and you may think you're really deeply in love with them or that you're very attracted to them, wait until it goes direct before you make any actions or decisions, because you might find that you don't quite like that person as much once Venus goes direct. It's a good time for finishing up on any kind of financial situations or issues that you've been dealing with. Wonderful time for completing those during this retrograde, and also any relationship issues that you've got. Good time for reconciliations and coming together and resolving things, so that when it goes direct on June 27th, you can move forward more easily and with much more of a flow in your life during this time. It would not be a time to have any cosmetic surgery or do any kind of makeover or new hairdo or new fashionable do or new dress do or anything like that. Would not be good during this retrograde in your 6th house. This would not be the best time to do it. So wait until it's direct. But you would be fine at picking up some kind of a bargain somewhere in a sale or a car boot sale or a flea market. That would be fine, but no big spendings. Not that I think you would do big spendings necessarily. Not with Pluto being in your sign. You are learning to be much more careful about what you do with money, and also changing your attitudes as well about money and finance too. Well, we've got Jupiter. Jupiter, the planet of good fortune. It's in your 5th house until June the 12th. So first 6 months of the year in your 5th house. So it's a good time for anything with children. Good time for creativity. Good time for planning a marriage, getting married. For having a romance. For doing something for a hobby, and for also extending a business, either for starting a new business or going into business for yourself. All these things would be well aspected. If you do anything speculative, make sure that you've got it in proportion. Maybe don't get into a very big deal that looks like it's going to be a wonderful payout. Be very careful that Jupiter can delude you a little bit, and you need some practicality. Luckily, your ruler is Saturn, and I'm sure you'll bring a dose of reality into any deals that come your way. After June the 12th, we've got Jupiter into your 6th house. So this is going to bring some opportunities in work. You may change your work. You may change your work direction. If you've needed to heal from a situation, you need some healing. Good time for the body to heal during this time. Usually a speeding up of the healing process for you. It's also a good time just for making more connections in the workplace, for reaching out more. You might be moved to an international position. Or you just maybe move from where you are, and you may need to learn extra skills in order to move to another position, a higher position in your workplace. We've got Saturn, your ruler, until October the 5th. It's in your 10th house. So for those of you who have been working assiduously at a career, this really could be a time of great recognition for you, of people really seeing who you are, what you've done, and all the hard work you've put in, and really a time of rewards for you. If not, it could be a time of a total change in a career, of a new beginning, of really having to start fresh and to start again and to plant some new seeds for a new career. So that could work out either way, depending what you've been doing beforehand. After October the 5th, Saturn changes sign, moves into Scorpio, and it's in your 11th house. So you may find that it's going to be more difficult to work with other people. You might want to just really work on your own and do your own projects. You might end up with more responsibilities that you don't particularly want. So you're going to have to be careful about what you take on, especially if you're involved in a group or an organization and they say, would you like to be president? Would you like to do this? The answer is probably no. It's too much. I don't want to take on any more responsibilities. It could be the end of some friendships during this period. It's there until October of 2015, so it's quite a long transit. But it is a wonderful time for making your dreams a reality. So that's a positive way in which you can use this transit of Saturn through your 11th house. So there you have it, my Capricorns, much happening in the area of learning. And you may well study metaphysics with that Neptune in your 3rd house. A lot happening in your work, your relationships, possible marriage, and you're re-evaluating where you're putting your energy and making sure that you're really being effective. So I wish you a great year. You might want to have a reading about what 2012 has in store for you. And you might want to ask me a question for $25. And I'll answer you in an email of up to 150 words. Either way, I'd be delighted to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.